So how many times has it happened with you that you've ate a samosa or a pastry and you have felt like it was amazing and I don't want anything. Now that's it. I'm done. It was tasty, but I don't want any more. And how many times has it happened that you have ate just one samosa or just one piece of cake or pastry and it has made you feel awesome and you want more of it after eating one piece of it? The second is true majority of times, right? Whenever we eat a pizza, whenever we eat a pastry, whenever we eat fries or chips or cookies, what happens is we always want more of it. We always want more of it, and we are never satisfied with the quantity that we eat. And that's why we end up eating the entire pizza. That's why we end up eating the whole pack of chips. That's why we end up eating 2 to 3 samosas back to back and all of those things. But have you ever imagined when was the last time that you have ate one entire apple or one entire orange and you asked for one more apple or one more orange? That I ate an apple, it was good, but I want one more apple. I want a few more apples. I want to eat a kg of apples. I want to eat full packet of apples. Doesn't happen like that, right? So this characteristic of food or different combinations of food is what makes it easier for us to consume more of certain category of food or certain types of food. And on the other hand, the other category of foods like apples and oranges and stuff, these are the foods that makes it difficult for us to eat more of it. You cannot eat more than 2 apples. You cannot eat more than 3 apples. One apple would give you almost 150 calories, 120 calories. One samosa, one pastry will give you 250 calories, and you will end up eating 2 to 3 more of it. After eating 120 calories from an apple, you won't be eating anything else for the next 2 to 3 hours. This characteristics of these foods is what could make it easier for us while eating some foods to gain weight, or on the other hand, the same characteristics of some other foods could make it difficult for us to gain weight. That is, the weight loss could become easier. Okay. So, what is this characteristics and what are the factors that will effectively make sure that we don't end up eating more of the food, which would make sure we would stay in a calorie deficit and will help us to lose weight? While on the other hand, the people who are struggling to gain weight, are struggling to put on muscle mass, they need to stay in a calorie surplus. And that is the best option. You could even gain muscle even on maintenance calories or on deficit, but that's not the most optimal plan. But to stay in calorie surplus, it becomes difficult for skinny people to eat more food and to gain weight. For those people, these specific categories of food would make it easier for them to stay in a calorie surplus and gain weight. So what are these characteristics? How the food combination, macronutrients, gastric emptying, time for digestion, and all of these things would make specific foods helpful for muscle gain and few other specific foods helpful for fat loss is what we are going to discuss in today's episode. This is going to be focused around top 3 foods that will help you to lose fat and top 3 foods that will make it easier for you to gain muscle. These are not the foods that have anything magical about it that will make you gain weight or make you gain muscle without anything else, but these would be specific foods that will make it easier for you to gain. These will be specific food that will help you to eat less overall, and that is how these foods will help. Okay. As always, my friend, Vinay Suryavanshi here, lecturer of exercise science at NSCA India, a body transformation and a performance coach, here to help you with all the necessary tools, knowledge, and frameworks to make your transformation journey easier, faster, and enjoyable. So before getting into the topic of top 3 foods to make your transformation journey, whether it is fat loss, whether it is muscle gain, easier, let's understand what makes the food makes us eat more of it and what makes the food makes us eat less of it or less afterwards overall. Okay, just like we discussed about chips, fries, samosa, pastries, and all of these things, after eating few of these, it makes us want more of it. It makes us hungry again, it makes us crave for it again, and it makes us eat these food back to back, or we could say binge eat these foods. Okay, so what are the things that would influence this? And on the other hand, whenever we talk about eating an apple, whenever we talk about eating an orange, eating a watermelon, why does it happen that our stomach full and we don't again get hungry for next 3 to 4 hours, and we don't want to eat a lot of food after this? It becomes easier to control the food cravings, and it becomes easier for us to resist or say no to food after eating these foods. So our stomach actually has got two things that regulates our hunger. One is the mechanoreceptors in the stomach. Mechanoreceptors are basically the receptors that will sense the stretch that our stomach faces or stomach gets. When there is food that goes inside the stomach, the muscles of the stomach, again, the muscles of the stomach or the stomach itself actually expands a little. And there are mechanoreceptors that would sense this, and this would signal the brain that there is food inside the stomach and we need to digest it, and all of the things then again follows. The entire digestive system then again starts to work. So second part is the leptin. Leptin is a hormone that works as an appetite suppressant that signals our brain that we have had now enough fat in the body and now we don't need a lot of food. So basically it is triggered by fat. Okay, and when what happens with obese people is they have got a lot of fat. And after a point, the brain constantly get a signal that there is fat in the body, and we need to suppress the appetite. After a point, what happens is the brain becomes resistant to this. The brain tells the leptin hormone that it's okay to stop troubling me. And that is why what happens with obese people is they have problem controlling their hunger. They have problem controlling their appetite because leptin is all over the place, and the body has become resistant to leptin. So here, whenever the body fat goes down slowly, the hunger signal becomes well regulated. Your body does not feel hungry very often. You are very well able to manage your hunger and cravings and things like that. But what happens when we start dropping a lot of fat is, again, when we start dropping a lot of fat, the body becomes leptin sensitive. Now it is not a resistance, so a little release in leptin, what it will do is it will signal the brain, and it will tell the brain that we need food. And again, in this situation as well, when we are too low on fat, whenever we are trying to lose a lot of fat too fast and we have lost a big quantity in a very quick time, hunger level increases over time. And this leptin is the cause behind all of these. So this leptin release will again tell the brain that we need food, we are too less on the fat. So basically amount of fat in the body or in the food would regulate the leptin hormone in the body. Okay, so these are the two things that will regulate whether we feel hungry, whether we feel or crave food, or whether we do. Okay, then the third thing is energy. Overall energy. If we are too low on energy, that will again signal our brain and tell our brain that we need food, because what's the primary function why we eat food in the first place? To get energy and to get nutrients. Okay, there's no other biological reason for us to eat food apart from getting energy and apart from getting nutrients from it. Okay, so whenever we lack nutrients, whenever we lack energy, the body will crave more food. So these are the three things that would affect how and when we would feel hungry. Okay, so what happens when it comes to processed food? Now, when we talk about samosa, when we talk about pastry, when we talk about fries, when we talk about pizza, all of these are processed foods. Processed foods are processed to make them hyper palatable. Hyper palatable simply means that we could consume a lot of it. We could consume it in big quantity. Okay, what makes these food hyper palatable is, number one thing is lack of protein. Number two is lack of fibers. You cannot eat the food that are high in protein and high in fiber in a very large quantity. Even if it is a whey protein, you cannot drink a lot of whey protein, even if it is just like water, even if it is just shake, even if it is liquid. You cannot drink a lot of whey protein, okay, because it will make you feel full. So hyper palatable foods lack protein, lack fiber, and lack other nutrients as well. Have you heard that you have a pizza that is filled with micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, fibers, protein, or things like that. No, right? That's the thing that makes it hyper palatable, and we could eat more of it, because then again it does not signal our brain about anything. The brain is just getting a lot of energy from it. It is not getting nutrients. It is not triggering the mechanoreceptors, because fiber, what fiber does is, in our body, fiber, have you ever had chia seeds? Chia seeds, if you just soak it in water, what happens with chia seeds? It develops a protective, or we could say a fibrous coating, soft and fluffy. It becomes slightly bigger, it absorbs water and becomes a gel-like structure gets created around the chia seeds. So that is basically the form of fiber. That is what fiber does inside our body. Okay, it goes inside the body and it just absorbs water and becomes a gel-like structure, especially the insoluble fiber. Soluble fiber is again something that gets dissolved within the water. Okay, it's soluble in water. Okay, so insoluble fiber creates this gel-like structure inside the body and increases in quantity. So what this does is it activates the mechanoreceptors. Mechanoreceptors again signals the brain that there is enough food in the body, stop eating. Okay, protein is again our digestion, or our stomach is basically a furnace. Furnace is melting all of the metal that is coming inside and passing it over to the next part, that is the small intestine. So in this furnace, protein acts like a brick of metal, big brick of metal. Okay, and carbohydrates and fats are like small balls of metal, small balls of metal, or small pieces of metal. Okay, what will take more time to digest? What will take more heat and more energy to get digested, or gets dissolved basically in this furnace? Of course, the bigger chunk, the protein, right? Because protein has got that structure which is slightly difficult to break. It takes more energy, it takes more heat to get digested and absorbed. Okay, so then again, protein will sit inside the stomach. It won't get digested very quickly and very easily. It will again signal your brain that food is there in the stomach, stop eating, we don't need more food. These are the two things, fibers and protein. These two foods will affect in the way I just mentioned earlier and signal our brain that now we don't need food. We have already had enough and it's time to stop eating. Okay, so this is how fiber and protein helps with reducing hunger and cravings. Okay, so whenever we talk about all the hyper palatable foods, all the processed foods, they lack protein and fiber, and that is one of the reason that makes them hyper palatable. That is one of the reason why we cannot control those foods, why we can eat them in big and huge quantities. Okay, so if if we add in fibers and proteins to these foods won't stay hyper palatable, but then again the texture, taste, color, and all of those things of these foods would change, and it would not make them hyper palatable. The companies would not make profit from it, because how the companies would make profit from it? It is by making you eat more of it. If you get satisfied with just one cookie, how would the cookie manufacturer make money out of it, my friend? They want you to eat more. They don't care about your health. They want you to eat more of it. And again, on the back end, one more thing will help them to make profit is reducing the manufacturing cost, reducing the cost of the ingredients. So they will again try to get the cheapest possible ingredients. They will try to make sure that one process or one ingredient could be reused again and again, just like oils are reused and that gets hydrogenated, trans fats, and all of these things are very harmful for us, but we never think about it that. Okay, so these are the two things that will help the companies to make profits, and then they don't really care about your health, do they? Okay, they don't. So that is the problem, my friend. This thing is making you eat more food, and if you are eating more food, if you have problem with controlling your food intake, how would you be able to stick to your calorie deficit? How would you be able to stick with the plan that you have assigned or that you are following, and which would help you to lose fat? Okay, so now we have understood that how our digestion works, what are the foods that makes us eat more of it, what are the foods, or what are the macronutrients, or what are the small things that would help us to get full and reduce food cravings and will not lead us to overeating and binge eating of a specific. So now we have understood the basics. Now let's move on to the foods that would actually make a difference. Okay, now before moving to this part, let us talk about foods that will help us to lose fat. Let's start with this topic. Foods that will help us to lose fat. Again, whenever it comes to losing weight, whenever it comes to losing fat, what is the primary thing that will make a difference is staying in a calorie deficit. Staying in a calorie deficit simply means that if you're burning 2000 calories, you should be eating less than 2000 calories. Okay, so suppose you are eating 1500 calories, burning 2000 calories. Where the 500 calorie burn will come from? It will come from the fat that is stored inside your body. Okay, stored fat is nothing but the stored form of energy for your body. Okay, there is one more stored form of energy that is called as glycogen. Glycogen is basically glucose condensed in a very small structure, and that is also a stored form of energy. It is stored in muscles, it is present in the blood, it is also stored in the liver. Okay, so these are the two stored forms of energy that our body would use when it comes to weight loss, or when it comes to staying in a calorie deficit. And that is how we lose weight. Slowly we start on using up these resources, and once these resources are used up, if we are consistent in a calorie deficit, what our body will do is it will get more fat out of the system, convert it in energy and use it as energy, and this is how we lose fat. Okay, so talking about fat loss, we want to make sure that the process that will help us to stay in a calorie deficit is efficient enough. Okay, if you want to stay in a calorie deficit, now if you are eating, burning 2000 calories, eating 1500 calories, now if this 1500 calories, even if it comes from pizza, even if it comes from fries, even if it comes from samosa, even if it comes from all of the junk food that you could imagine, you will still lose fat. Sounds shocking, right? But yes, it happens. If you are burning 2000, if you are eating 1500, even if it is coming from the worst possible foods, you would still lose weight. Okay, but the process would be very difficult, because you could eat 1500 calories from just one pizza as well. From just one pizza, cheese burst, fully loaded, large size pizza, one pizza could help you get 1500 calories. And what you will do for the rest of the day? You would just sit like, now I have had my 1500 calories, now what to do? But same 1500 calories, if you eat those from chicken, if you lean protein source, any lean protein source, if you get a good complex carbohydrate source, if you add in vegetables, if you add in high volume low calorie density foods, just like watermelon, just like fruits, just like lean protein sources, all of these foods, you could eat a lot of food within 1500 calories. You would actually have problem eating that much or that huge volume of food within just 1500 calories, my friend. Okay, so one entire watermelon, if you could eat one entire watermelon, it is just around 450 500 calories, man. Just imagine how much time would it take for you to eat an entire watermelon, and how long will it keep you full. Okay, and just give you 500 calories, and one pizza could give you 1500 calories, which you could eat in one sitting. Okay, you would also drink a coke with it, you would also eat some fries with it, that would get you to almost 2000 calories. Okay, so that is the problem, my friend. You could stay in a calorie deficit by eating any possible food, but it will make the process more difficult for you. Okay, so there are foods that you could eat in high volume, there are foods that you could eat in good huge quantities, and you could still stay in a calorie deficit. That will overall make it easier for you to stay in a calorie deficit, because you are eating food your body is not craving, or your body is not hungry, your body is getting enough energy, although it is slightly less than what you are burning, but then again this energy would be enough for you to go through the daily activities. Okay, then again you are getting enough nutrients for hormonal balance, you're getting enough nutrients to not start losing your hairs, keep an intact skin, start with building a little bit of muscle, because you would be eating high protein and things like that. Okay, so this foods will make the process easier for you. It would not deprive you of nutrients, it would not deprive you of the energy a lot, it would avoid all of the, basically what we could say, the side effects of dieting, which are like hair loss, hormonal imbalances, skin will get dull and dark, and you will start losing muscle mass and things like that. So these are the food that will help you. Okay, these are the food that will help you to optimize the process, that will make it easier for you to stick to the plan, that will make it easier for you to avoid the side effects. Number one food is lean sources of protein. Lean sources of protein, again, chicken breast is one of the best, soybean is there, egg whites are a good source, whey protein is there. All of the lean sources of protein would help you. By which mechanism? As we discussed, is a furnace, a brick of metal will go inside, it will take time to digest, it will stay in your stomach, it will signal your brain that food is already there, we don't need a lot of food. One more way how the lean protein will help you to drop fat is the process of thermic effect of food. Every food that goes inside our body takes some energy to get digested. Okay, again, it is a furnace, we would have to put in wood, we would have to keep the fire alive inside the furnace to melt the metal. So this energy supply that a food needs to get digested is called thermic effect of food. Okay, so thermic effect of protein is from 20 to 35% almost. Okay, depending on different foods, on the structure of the food, how complex it is to break down, it is a scale, it is not a specific number. 20 to 35% of energy from protein is taken just to digest the protein itself. So if you are eating 100 calories from protein, 20 to 30% of the calories would be burned in just digesting the protein itself. Good fat source as well. Okay, just like chicken thighs, chicken legs, just like red meats are again bigger portions of meat, and they are also high in fat, high in calories, calorie density is high. So it would work the similar way, just like protein acts, but it would give us slightly more calories. Okay, if you could balance the calories at the end of the day, amazing. Okay, but the first priority is lean sources of protein. Again, lean sources of protein will be the calorie count or the calories that we would be getting would be less, and again, you could add in a little bit extra carbohydrates, you could add in a little extra fats, oils, cheese and stuff to your food if you are eating lean sources of protein. So this is number one, the food that will help you to make the fat loss journey easier, enjoyable and optimal. Number one food is lean sources of protein. Number two is high fiber foods. High fiber foods, again, what are foods with high fiber? Fruits and vegetables. Fiber is a type of carbohydrates. Again, fiber is divided into two, soluble and insoluble. Soluble fiber, just like the name suggests, it is soluble in water. Insoluble fiber is not soluble in water. So both of these are important. Okay, fruits and vegetables are the best sources of fibers. Again, we get fibers from grains as well, but fruits and vegetables would slightly be a better option. Okay, so what happens when we are eating a lot of fiber? Again, it will go inside the stomach, form a bulk and activate the mechanoreceptors, signal the brain that we have had enough food, we don't need a lot of food. Again, fibers are a macronutrient, or fibers are nutrients which our body cannot digest. Okay, so fiber, what happens with these fibers is the insoluble fibers specifically, when they pass through the gut in the intestines, they become food for our microbiome. Microbiome is the bacteria that sits inside our intestines, and these are the bacteria that helps with breaking down of food. And the more the food is broken down, the better it is for absorption, and the more of it is available for absorption, and the better the overall digestion process gets. Okay, because it is not what we eat, my friend, it is what gets absorbed, what gets digested, gets absorbed, is what makes our body. Okay, so what gets absorbed, if it does not get absorbed, no matter which superfood you eat, it is going to end up in the toilet the next day. Okay, so working on your digestive system, working on having a better robust digestive system, and making sure that the food that we're eating is also getting optimally absorbed is the best, should be a concern, or should be a focus for all of us. Okay, so these fibers will become food for these microbiome, and when the microbiome will get sufficient food, daily food, the quantity of them will increase, they will be able to work more, they will be able to bring more food, they will be able to absorb better foods, and the nutrient availability for our body would be good. Okay, so this is one of the benefit of fibers. Again, this is how the fiber would help. Then again, the calories that we are getting from fiber is not 4 calories. Okay, just like every carbohydrates, every protein, 1 gram of protein will give us 4 calories, 1 gram of carbohydrates will also give us 4 calories. And as I previously talked, that fiber is a form of carbohydrate. So will fiber give me 4 calories? No, because the fiber does not get fully digested. But it is said that fiber would be counted as 2 calories. Okay, 2 calories per gram, because soluble fiber is what gets digested. Insoluble fiber does not get digested efficiently. So it is good to make sure that, or mention that, 1 gram of fiber would give us 2 calories. This is also one thing that the manufacturers play around with on the nutrition label: net calories and total calories. So total calories is the total calories from carbohydrates. Okay, so suppose we are getting 20 calories or 20 grams of carbohydrates, out of which 10 grams is fiber. Okay, so total calories will be 20 into 4 would be 80 calories, but the net calories would be just 10 into 4, which would be 40 calories. So the labels of the food or the manufactured or the processed food would give you net calories. Net calories would be just 40, but total calories would be 80. So so that is just some food for thought for you guys. Okay, so yes, when we were talking about fibers, okay, fibers would not get digested. You would again save on calories. Process would help you to stay in a calorie deficit more often and make it easier for you to eat a lot of food and still stay in a calorie deficit. That is about fiber. That is how the fibers would help. And number 3 is 0 calorie drinks. 0 calorie drinks, my friend, these are game changers for a lot of people. I had a client and he's lost 25 kgs so far. You could check out his transformation on my Instagram page, on my website. His name is Pawan. Okay, what he used to do was, he was in his college days, his college was just finished and he was about to start his job. He worked at Amazon USA. He stays in USA. Okay, stays alone, does everything by himself, and he still lost 25 kgs. Super amazing transformation journey. It will inspire you all. It is an inspiration for me as well. So what one change we made with his diet was, he used to drink a lot of Coke. He was a PUBG player. He liked playing games a lot, and he was pro at playing PUBG. So while playing PUBG, he used to drink a lot of Coke. And 1 can of Coke would give you almost around 150 to 200 calories. Okay, and suppose he drank four cans of Coke every day, that would give him around 800 calories. Okay, what was the first change that we made in his transformation journey was, we just replaced the Cokes, the normal regular Cokes, with zero Coke Zero, or the Diet Cokes. What is the major difference within a Diet Coke or a Coke Zero with a regular Coke was, the Diet Coke contains artificial sweeteners that are 0 calories. And what is the only source of calories in the regular Coke is the sugar. Okay, so if we reduce the sugar from it, the Coke becomes a 0 calorie drink. It still has caffeine, but caffeine does not have any calories. It gives the same kick that we used to get from the regular Coke due to the caffeine content, but does not give us the sugar. Okay, so it makes it 0 calories. So even if he was drinking 4 can of Coke every day, he was getting 0 calories. And this is how we reduced 800 calories from his diet without making zero changes in his diet or exercise plan or anything. And he started dropping weight like crazy. Okay, these are the small things that we have to recognize, my friend. This is where coaching is very, very important, and we don't have to always go hard, go fast, hardcore motivation and discipline and all of those things. If you are smart enough, the transformation journey would be a lot easier for you. Okay, so these again, the Cokes, water is again very simple and the best option, and works as calorie suppressant as crazy. Okay, drink 2 big glasses of water before having a meal, my friend, and you will considerably observe that you will considerably eat less calories throughout the in that meal. Okay, simple. Again, mechanoreceptors comes into picture. Drink 2 glasses of water and go out for a party. Whenever you are at a party, whenever you are traveling somewhere, whenever you are on a vacation, whenever you are, what you would say, thrilled, or whenever you get excited to eat some food that is actually very pleasing to the eyes, smelling very tasty and looks very beautiful, drink half a liter of water, my friend. Majority of the times what also happens is we are thirsty, we are not hungry, we haven't had water from a long time, so our body just wants something. And if we just drink water, majority of the times we would get enough willpower to resist the food, because we are not actually hungry, we were just thirsty. Okay, water would be a game changer. Start drinking half a liter of water before any big meal, before going out for parties, or before you know that only high calorie food is available, diet food is not available, and you cannot stick to the diet. You are on a vacation, you are traveling, you are in a family function or things like that. This is one of the best and the simplest option. Few more options are again black coffee, green tea. These are the things that could also help. Again, diet coke, coke zero, these are the things that would also help. Why? Because of the caffeine in black coffee. Caffeine is also present in green tea, but in lesser quantities. Caffeine is also present in coke zeros and diet cokes and things. Caffeine also works as an appetite suppressant. Okay, so these are the things that would also signal our brain that we don't need a lot of food. These are also the things that would go inside the body, trigger the mechanoreceptors, signal the brain that there is something in the stomach and we don't need a lot of food. That is how these strategies or these foods or these food combinations could help us to make it easier for us to stick to the calorie deficit. Make sure we eat more food without getting that many calories. Make sure the dieting process is sustainable for us. That is what, my friend. Add in lean protein sources to your diet, add in a lot of fruits and fibrous vegetables into your diet, and you would be shocked by eating such a huge quantity of food without getting as many calories from it. Okay, now one Oreo biscuit, my friend, one Oreo biscuit gives you around 80 calories. You know what also gives you 80 calories? One orange. One orange, medium or small orange, would give you 80 calories. One Oreo biscuit will give you 80 calories. We wouldn't even count that one Oreo biscuit as a part of our diet. But whenever we eat an orange, the orange will keep us full for next 1 or 2 hours, even if it is a small orange, and it will not make us to ask for more oranges or for more food again. Okay, this is how the food affects us, my friend. Oreo biscuit, no fibers, no protein, fully refined, no micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, nothing is there. Only calories, only sugars, only carbohydrates. Also a lot of fats in there. Okay, so this is how hyperpalatable foods would make the process difficult for us, make it difficult for us to stay in a calorie deficit, make it difficult for us to control our hunger and cravings and things like that. And that is why we want to make sure that we eat more of the better foods for fat loss, lean protein sources, fibrous foods like vegetables and fruits, and zero calorie drinks would again help. That was about the foods for fat loss. Now, top food for muscle gain, my friend. Now, directly opposite to the fat loss foods. Now, here, whenever we're talking about foods that will help us to gain muscle, that will help us to gain weight, what we need to make sure is we should be able to eat more of it. Because the people who struggle with gaining weight are the people who cannot eat a lot of food, are the people who just get full within a small meal, who don't eat a lot of a huge quantity of meals. So the problem with these people is they stay in a calorie deficit, or they stay at a calorie maintenance, and that is why they have struggled always with gaining weight. So here what we have to make sure is the food we are eating is very easy to digest, gastric emptying is fast, it does not cause a lot of problem to our digestion and gets emptied quickly. Also, we get more calories within less volume of food. So we want calorie dense foods here. Okay, so just opposite to the fat loss foods, the muscle gain or the weight gain foods would be high calorie protein sources. Number one food, high calorie protein sources. Why we want a high calorie protein source here is because we want protein, my friend. Without protein, without strength training, if we try to gain weight, we would gain fat all over. We won't be gaining muscle, because muscles need protein, muscles need stimulus. Without these two things, it is impossible to gain muscle. Okay, so high calorie protein sources. Now, what are high calorie protein sources? Eggs. Whole eggs are a good high calorie protein source. Then milk is a good high calorie whole milk, my friend, buffalo milk, good high calorie protein source. Again, the amount of protein is less within milk, but it's fine. We could compensate it with the other protein sources. Again, what are high calorie protein sources? Paneer, full fat paneer, good source of protein, high quality protein, also comes with good amount of fats and good amount of calories at the end of the day. Again, here, again, the next portions would not be the primary protein sources, but are great. Peanut butter. Peanut butter is not a quality protein source. It is not a complete protein source. But then again, when we are talking about gaining muscle, we also want food that contains higher calories in lower volume. Just a 2 tablespoon of peanut butter would be giving you 250 calories, my friend. 250 calories, very easy. 250 calories you will be getting from half a watermelon. And just think about it. Think about the volume comparison. Half a watermelon and 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. Okay. What you would be able to eat more? Of course, peanut butter. Okay. So we want foods that will give us more calories in less volume. Less volume means smaller portions of food. 2 tablespoons of peanut butter would be like 30, 60 grams. 250 grams of watermelon would be this big. Okay, same calories. Okay, so these are the foods that we could again include here. Cheese is again amazing when it comes to gaining weight, because again it is high in fat, contains some protein, high in calories. We can eat a lot of cheese, and again cheese is something that makes everything taste better. So if we just add in if we just add in 250 grams of cheese with the diet that you are already having, you'll start gaining weight, my friend. As simple as that. We don't have to make a lot of changes here. Now, what I do personally with my clients is, whenever we change phases. Now, suppose we started a fat loss phase and we have achieved a fat loss goal, we did a maintenance phase, and now we want to shift to a gaining phase. Simplest change I make with their diet is, instead of telling them to eat chicken breast, I will ask them to eat chicken thighs and chicken legs. Instead of asking them to eat egg whites, I would ask them to eat whole eggs. Instead of asking them to eat soya bean or soya chunks, I would ask them to eat full fat paneer. This simple change would help them to get more calories from the same amount of food that we were eating, and this simple change will make them start to gain muscle. As simple as that, my friend. If we compare chicken breast to chicken thighs, chicken breast is lean protein source. Chicken breast, 100 grams, you will get around 25 to 30 grams of protein and nothing else. No fat, no fiber, nothing. No carbohydrates as well. Same, if we talk about 100 grams of chicken leg or chicken thigh, it will come with just 20 to 22 grams of protein, but it will also come with 10 to 12 to 15 grams of fat, depending on the piece and depending on the chicken and things. Zero carbohydrates again, but due to the fat content, fat is calorie dense. Now, just like we talked about, 1 gram of protein will give us 4 calories, 1 gram of carbohydrates will give us 4 calories, but 1 gram of fat will not give us 4 calories. 1 gram of fat will give us 9 calories. 9 calories is more than double of the calories that we were getting from carbohydrates and protein. Okay, so this additional fats in chicken thigh will help us to get more calories from same volume of food. Volume means 100 grams of chicken breast, 100 grams of chicken thighs, but we are getting more calories from chicken thighs. Okay, similarly, when we talk about eggs, egg white is lean source of protein, egg yolk is the fat source. Fat source will again increase the overall calories. So whole eggs would be a better option when we talk about gaining muscle or increasing calories, or trying to shift into a calorie surplus. Okay, so food number 2 that will make it easier for us to eat more food, get into calorie surplus, and make that process a lot more easier is similar to, or we could say the direct opposite of, zero calorie drinks is high calorie drinks, or we could say smoothies. Now, what the smoothies will do is, they are liquid calories. Okay, they are in a liquid form, almost liquid basically, not exactly liquid, because we would be adding in fruits, we would be adding in peanut butter, whey protein, and things like that into this to make it even more calorie dense. So these are the foods. What these will do is, whenever we convert a banana into a banana shake, what happens is we break the banana down mechanically. Okay, the job that our tooths and our jaw was going to make was to churn the food. That job is already done by the mixer or the blender. Okay, so what this smoothie will do is it will make it easier for our body to eat more food or consume more food, and it would again be readily digested. It would be easier to digest because again the banana is not in the solid form, it is almost liquid. Okay, sludge form. Okay, so it would be very easy for our body to digest. It would not take as long to digest as it would have taken us to eat a banana. Drinking a banana smoothie would be calories available for digestion, metabolizable calories would be little more from here. Okay, so what we have to do here is making high calorie smoothies. High calorie smoothies, what they will do is we would feel like we haven't ate something, but we have drank, and we have drank. It is easy to drink calories than to eat calories. Okay, direct opposite of the things that we do for foods with fat loss. The foods that are fibrous, the foods that are high in volume, we need to chew those foods more. If we are chewing that food more, it will make us slightly resist the food, or we would get full very easily. But when it comes to drinking calories, it is pretty simple. No resistance. Our body will think that okay, we are just consuming some liquid and we are also getting in a lot of calories from it. Here we could add in fruits, we could add in whey protein, we could add in peanut butter, we could add in a lot of things like dry fruits, nuts, we could add in berries here, we could add in chia seeds, flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds. All of these small additions would increase the calorie content of these smoothies and make it very calorie dense. And drinking even 500, 750 to even 1000 calories from a smoothie is easy. Okay, although the heavier the calorie, the more calorie dense the smoothie is, it would be slightly difficult for your body to digest. It will take a little longer time, but not as much as you would have had whole food. And whole food, digesting 1000 calories from whole food would be difficult than digesting 1000 calories from a smoothie. Okay, this was the second food that will help us to make the muscle gain journey a lot more easier. Okay, last one is the low fiber calorie dense foods. Low fiber calorie dense foods are again rice, amazing source for eating a lot of food. Then again cheese, we have got peanut butter here, we have got all the processed foods. So processed food, again, this the foods that will help us to eat more and to all of the fat loss foods or the foods that will help us to lose fat. Directly opposite. In fact, loss food, we want lean sources of protein because we don't want additional calories from anything else. Okay. In muscle gain foods, we want calorie dense protein sources. Okay. Because we want the protein, but we also want the food to be higher in calories within the same amount, same volume of food will be high calories, and that will again help us to eat more calories and beneficial for muscle gain or weight gain. Okay. Number two, in the fat loss food, it was 0 calorie drinks. Okay. In the fat gain or in the muscle gain, weight gain thing, it was high calorie smoothies. Again, we are drinking the things, but we are again getting a lot of calories from this. Okay, in the smoothie. And 0 calorie drink, we are still drinking something, but we are not getting any calories from this. Okay. Then third one is we were eating a lot of fiber rich food in fat loss things, or fat loss foods were a lot of fibrous food. Here we don't want a lot of fiber here. Okay, because again fiber will make it little difficult for our body to digest it. It will stay in the stomach for long. It will signal the brain that we don't need a lot of food now, and then it will not make us to, or it will not help us to eat a lot of food. So fiber less, or the foods that are less in fiber, or processed foods, refined foods. What is the process of refining the food? Is basically we're removing all of the fibers from it, and with the fibers all of the other micronutrients like vitamins, minerals are also stripped off from that food. So one example is take white rice and take brown rice. You cannot eat brown rice in the same quantity as you could eat white rice, because brown rice is just white rice with an added layer of fiber on it. That is brown rice. If we remove the fiber, the processing is done so that the rice looks nice, bright, white. It is pleasing to the eyes and things like that. It is easier to digest and things like that. That's the only difference in brown rice and white rice. They are not a lot of difference when it comes to calories, and not a lot of difference when it comes to other things, but just added fibers and everything that the fiber brings, a little extra nutrients, a little extra protein, a little extra fiber, all of those things. That is the only difference. These are the things that we have to make a switch. Okay, then cheese we always already talked about. Again, adding in ghee, oils, butters, these are the things. Again, we don't have to do a lot of it, because I'll give you an example. Just 15 grams of ghee. Okay, 15 grams of ghee. You add in 2 tablespoons during your lunch. You add in 2 tablespoons during your dinner, extra, apart from the food that you're already eating. 15 grams of ghee is like 15 grams of fat. 15 grams of fats is like 90 and 45. This is like 135 calories. 135, 135. Again, we have got somewhere around 270 calories. 270 calories in lunch, 270 calories in dinner. That is somewhere around 540 calories. Okay. 540 calories, you are getting extra 540 calories. 2 tablespoons of ghee is not very difficult to eat, my friend. Believe me, if you are eating dal rice, if you are eating chapatis and things, adding in 2 tablespoons of ghee, even in making your curries, in making your chicken and things like that, is very, very easy. These 500, 550 calories would help you to gain 350 extra calories by the end of the week. 350 extra calories is almost equal to 1 pound of fat tissue. Okay, 1 pound of tissue. 3,500 calories is equivalent to 1 pound of fat tissue, or 1 pound of tissue basically. That means that even if you add 2 tablespoons of 15 grams of ghee in your lunch, 2 tablespoons, 15 grams in your dinner, you would be gaining 1 pound of weight at the end of every week. Just this simple change, my friend. This simple change. You don't have to lift mountains, and you don't have to complicate things. These things are as simple as this. That is why when I coach my clients, I don't give them any amount of tracking or do this, do that, all of the complex stuff. I give them a structure. And we just manipulate the structure with time. We just keep on optimizing stuff, improve the quality of food, and just make change within that structure. We have a structure, but that structure is super flexible. And that is what makes the process a lot simple for our clients. That is what get the clients results. If I would have given them the most complicated, I could give my clients the most complicated plan. I could make them understand this is how leptin works, this is how ghrelin works, cortisol, testosterone, this, that, complex carbohydrate. The client would have got mad. And instead of doing the actual required work, he would have just got overwhelmed by all of the information I was giving him, and he would never get results. Simple scales, complex fails. The best coaches in the world are the ones who make complex things very simple. Newbie coaches, the coaches who are just starting out, just want to sound complex. They just want to sound fancy. They just want to bring in all the terminologies so that they could sound like an advanced or a pro trainer. That is the difference, my friend. This was all about the foods and how they affect us internally, how they affect our bodies in a way where we could eat a lot more of it, or else we could eat a lot less of it. There are foods that will help us to eat more and make the weight gain journey easier, and there are also food that could make the weight loss journey easier by making us eat less food overall. Or less food overall, or else we could say that eat more volume and get less calories from it. Stay fuller for longer, avoid hunger, avoid cravings and things like that, and make the process a lot more easy. That was about it, my friend. If you have any other doubts, questions, or queries regarding anything that we discussed so far, make sure you drop it to me on my Instagram. I am as fitnessengineer_Vinay, and I'll be happy to help you. And if you like the episode, please share it with your friends, my friend, and please subscribe to the channel because it helps me a lot. It keeps me motivated and helps me to bring such energetic and super informative episodes for you all. Waiting to get your replies and waiting for you to share the episodes with your friends and families. I'll be super happy to if you do that. And as always, Vinay Suryanshi logging off.